Defense News. It's proudly sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union. If you're a member of our nation's armed forces, the Department of Defense, or if your family is, we'd be proud to serve you too.
On this edition of Defense News Weekly, a special episode in conjunction with our partners at Cheddar. We dive into the business end of the defense industry, with spotlights on major companies producing some of the most transformative battlefield tech. We canvass the DSEI conference in London to see what's making the industry tick. Brought to you from the UK, it's the business of defense here on Defense News Weekly.
The battlefield of tomorrow won't just feature human soldiers. Autonomous systems are transforming how wars are fought, from unmanned ground vehicles to precision missile systems that can operate independently. Leading the charge of these game-changing technologies is Milram Robotics.
What are we standing in front of? Tell me all about the Havoc.
Yeah, so this is the first time she's ever been out in public. We have electric axles, and so we have instant torque, like a Tesla. So when you press the gas, there's no lag. And so we've designed this vehicle to be able to go approximately 70 kilometers an hour, both in forward and in reverse, because we have 8-wheel steering and we have an autonomy kit on both ends. I've never seen anything like that in my life. The idea being is she can come up out of a hide site, engage a target, and then quickly get back to hide from FPV threats, anti-tank missiles, anything like that.
Who are some of the other crucial partnerships, either on software or the hardware side, that are required to make something like the Havoc a reality?
Open architecture. So that's the reason we did it that way. So like if our customer wants to use Starlink, hey, here you go, we'll plug it in. Open architecture on the inside, open architecture with RCOS communication systems and situational awareness. One C2 system in UAE is not the same C2 system in the Netherlands. So we have to have that open architecture that allows us to be more flexible to our customers' requirements. Today, if you look at operations in Ukraine, there are no tanks, there are no APCs. All of these capital assets full of people are unable to go and operate on the front lines. It's because they have no protection. So you take a vehicle like Havoc here today, you take the turret off, and we put a counter UAS system on top of this vehicle. And then with the autonomy kit that Milram has developed over the course of the last 10 years of existence, you would say, hey, here's 5 vehicles. Stay in the middle and protect them from threats above. And so with something like a 30 millimeter cannon, we can project force out to 15, 20 kilometers and protect those capital assets from the FPV threat at a really low cost per kill ratio.
But the Havoc is just one part of Milram's broader strategy. The company has also developed the Themis, a smaller but equally capable platform that's already being deployed in combat.
What we're demonstrating here is the ability and the flexibility of Themis to integrate any system. As long as it weighs 1,000 kilos or less, we're able to integrate local products, we're able to bring local industry into our baseline, and then we're going to take this system and we're going to offer it to Ukraine. In fact, there's a 100,000 euro bounty by the Russians on capturing one of our systems with the base station and with the controller.
Some of the tech specs that most stand out to you or are personal favorites on this particular piece of machine?
Yeah, so Silent Watch. So we've been in Ukraine under our own investment for the last 18 months, and we've been working all the time with them trying to figure out what the best mix of gas versus electrical power is. And so we've tuned Themis to have enough Silent Watch mobility that we can turn the engine off, we operate at night, there's no thermal signature, and so she can go up, pick people up, she can come back, and as soon as she's out of the threat environment, turn the engine on and continue on her way. We just did that mission a few weeks ago where the gentleman who had got struck by an anti-personnel mine, he was stuck in a field, it was nighttime, it was too dangerous because of the FPV threats. So they turned the motor off, they sent her in, the guy crawled up into the basket, we brought him home, the guy survived, kept both of his legs. You know, like these are things that we see every day and these are missions we're doing all the time.
From land to sea, autonomous systems are reshaping military operations. L3 Harris is pioneering new tech that removes human operators from dangerous situations.
So I think this ship is a very good example of like L3 Harris as a whole. We've got a maritime ship that has an autonomous capability. That autonomy is a thing that we do at L3 Harris. We can build autonomous systems. This boat is kind of an example of that. And that little green mushroom is actually a sensor. It's called the Muse, and Muse is a comm sensor. So it senses communication radio frequency emissions. And then we use that sensor to identify the location that's transmitting and perhaps even who it is or what it is that's transmitting. This for us is new because previously we've worked in radar, our radio frequency. Think radar, think like surface-to-air missile or another airplane. Now what we're demonstrating is we can take the entire electromagnetic spectrum from RF comms to RF radar, take all of that and look at it real time. So various segments of our company coming together to produce actually an entire defense article with modern capability.
While L3Harris may dominate the surface, BAE Systems is pushing autonomous technology beneath the waves.
What are we standing in front of?
So we're standing in front of a representation of our extra-large autonomous underwater vehicle. So it's 12 meters long, about 8 tons, so a bit of a beast. This is a machine, a tool used to autonomously navigate the deep oceans and fulfill a range of jobs, use cases from hunting submarines to firing torpedoes to conducting spying missions. It's got a super long range, so you can either fit lithium-ion battery solution in it or hydrogen fuel cell. It will give it a range of up to 5,000 kilometers, 45 days, so huge endurance. You know, you can get to most parts of the world to do various missions with that. And the other key thing is advanced autonomy.
Ultimately, the robots are there to get the user out of harm's way, so they can operate them from quite a distance. Traditionally, we'll be in a car bomb, those kind of areas.
Let's start right here. What are we looking at?
So T7 is a large one, so despite the size of it, you can actually use and go very intricate in its controls in the deactivation of the bombs, in fact, actually. But typically allows you to drag even cars out of areas of operation. So for instance, if you're in an urban context, you could potentially drag the car away before you actually go in and start deactivating the bomb that may be in there, in fact. The other things that we've really done and we think are real differentiators, we've got a thing called a haptic fingers in there, which are really intricate fingers, which almost emulate your hands in its operation. So when I talk about unzipping, cutting wires, for instance, that's what we can actually do in this capability. So whilst it's quite capable in its operation, it's actually quite intricate in how it operates at times as well.
Precision missile technology represents another frontier in autonomous warfare. German defense contractor Diehl is developing systems that can protect entire regions from aerial threats.
The system is already in operations in Ukraine. So the task or the mission of the system is to protect larger areas against aerial threats. Those threats are mainly jets or fighter aircraft or air-to-ground ammunition, or especially like we see in Ukraine on a daily basis, it's cruise missiles or even drones that we need to intercept to protect civil infrastructure or critical assets on the ground.
Let's talk about the mid-range missile. What are we looking at? And if I'm not mistaken, this is essentially 1-to-1. This is the actual size that we're talking about. What should we know?
This is a 40-kilometer range, 20-kilometer altitude interceptor. We have a direct hit capability in this interceptor. That means we hit the target structure directly. This is done with the imaging infrared seeker. We have under the nose cone you see on top of the missile. So with pinpoint accuracy, we are capable to hit the target. And this reduces, let's say, the impact on the ground and fratricide we might cause with the debris coming down. So a very precise and interceptor that has a very high single shot kill probability.
Yeah, the construction of the missile is one thing. The full stack and the delivery is something altogether. Tell me about what we got.
This is essentially the launcher, the Iris TSLM launcher, built on a 20-foot ISO container frames. So we launch the interceptor vertical, and from the vertical start, it can go into any direction to protect against threats coming in from 360 degrees. Normally they are remotely controlled from the second element we see down here from the Tactical Operations Center. So this is the only manned element during operations. We have 3 operators sitting there doing all the air defense.
How important is it for you and the team at Diehl to stay agile, to stay mobile, to be able to use and embrace new technologies on top of your core existing products?
Yeah, I think we learn this on a daily basis right now in the conflicts like in Ukraine where the system is involved, that you need to continuously improve the capabilities of the systems. You need to embrace new technologies, find ways how to harvest new capabilities that might come up through new technologies and figure out what makes sense and what doesn't, and really improve the systems and stay ahead of the threat.
When we come back, more from the show floor of the DSEI conference in London. Stay tuned.
Modern warfare isn't just about having the most advanced weapons. It's about connecting those systems and making sense of vast amounts of data in real time. But how do companies build the digital backbone of tomorrow's military?
Obviously, the big topic right now is Golden Dome, and we're very proud to be a part of standing by ready to execute the Golden Dome initiative. We have currently 39 satellites on order to perform the missile warning, missile defense mission. We have the hypersonic HBTSS satellite on orbit now as the proven solution, and we're very excited to be able to move forward and accelerate that program in coordination with the President's executive order. A lot of the opportunities associated with that is continuing to partner with a wide range of companies across our industrial base, such as Palantir and Shield AI, to bring in AI, ML solutions and try and continue to make those proven hardware solutions ever more capable.
We do multi-domain electronic warfare, both sensing and jamming, as well as data sharing. So DSCO stands for Distributed Spectrum Collaboration and Operations. It is a bit of a pivot for our company where we have traditionally made hardware that protects aircrew or warfighters in various platforms against enemy radar threats. We do that really well. We build the jammers, the sensors, and the user interfaces to make sure that warfighters come home alive. So an example of how we would do this in an operational vignette, this is more airborne focused, though imagine all domains are at play here. You have stand-in jammers that are going after a particular target set. They detect an enemy signal that may or may not be in their library. So when that happens, the sensor on board collects that data. And through the power of DSCO, we can move that data that is interesting up into an edge node or a cloud services type environment. Because once you get that data to the cloud, or to an edge processing node where human decision makers can do something with that information, really the sky is the limit. You can start bringing in third-party applications, our own algorithms. You can pull in data from various sensors. Some of those would be from our company, some would be from other companies.
Can you tell me quickly any real-life use cases where DSCO technology has already been used, or potential use cases where you can see this being used?
We detected an incoming assault force, and we not only were able to characterize those signals and identify what those were, we could get precise geolocation and feed that up to the commander so that that commander could react in real time to these evolving scenarios.
Traditional defense contractors like RTX are evolving beyond just building weapons. The company is focused on creating integrated systems that work together seamlessly.
You've seen some of the weapon systems, you've seen the work that we're doing on Javelin. There's also a range of weapon systems that the UK engineers also get involved in and manufacture. So we manufacture a huge number of components up in Scotland that we then export to the rest of the world, in particular back to the US. One of the other things we work quite hard on as well is understanding all of the threats that you see in operation. So in particular, the importance of position, navigation and timing. So one of the things we've been talking about is a program that we have is called Land Shield. So what this system can actually look and identify what's trying to jam you, what's trying to spoof you, and basically provide that operational effective exact position back to those rest of those systems.
We're standing in front of something that a lot of people may be familiar with but actually know very little about. H, what is this?
What you see in front of you is a Javelin missile.
Talk to me a bit about the production for a piece of machinery like this. I know it's not just Raytheon, Lockheed Martin oftentimes is involved with that joint production. How does it actually come together physically?
Predominantly, the missile is produced and assembled by Lockheed Martin, and the command launch unit is produced by Raytheon. Typically, you'll have a two-person team, the gunner and the commander, and they will operate that system in tandem. And not only is it used in a kinetic role to engage targets, predominantly armoured targets, but it's also used as part of, for example, a recce screen, and that the optics on the capability give the commander of that battle group or that company group the opportunity to see what's out there and then decide whether he's going to engage or not.
How far can this go and how fast can this go?
So typically, right now, the in-service capability has got a range of about 2 kilometres, and that is predominantly constrained by not the missile. The missile can go further, but the ability for the operator, the gunner, to identify a target. What we don't want to be doing is firing at something we think might be a target. Therefore, in the next year or two, the lightweight clue, a new iteration of the command and launch unit, is going to be introduced, and that has improved optics and will enable the gunners to fire javelin out to ranges of about 4 kilometers. So a massive increase in the range and the capability of the javelin.
While companies like RTX focus on current systems, others are already developing the connected warfare platforms of 2045. Diehl is bringing a unique perspective on how information management will reshape air combat.
Let's talk about FCAS Future Combat Air System. I know this is something that is still coming together. What is it now, and what do you hope it will be?
It's a concept. It's very complex. I'd say the biggest deal is to find a way to solve the problem with information. There's a lot of information on the battlefield. For example, the sensors out there, they're detecting a threat. Then the information level changes in the air combat cloud. There will be information going back and forth between all the players that are involved in the operation. Then there will be made a decision, a tactical decision, and after that, for example, we get depicted here swarm. The whole thing calms down, and then there will be like remote carriers or aircrafts taking care of the problem, I'd say, and solve it.
I was really surprised with the timeline. I believe you said 2045 or so?
Yeah. That's the official timeline of the Future Combat Air System. Everybody would like to have it done before, but in reality, it's a complex. It's the Future Combat Air System is made out of 3 partners. Main partners is France, Spain, and Germany, and we all try to find good solution of who's responsible for what part of the project.
What are a few of the realities of using a remote carrier like this that you think people might be most surprised to know? And how are you envisioning remote carriers like this can be used to better enhance the efficiency of fighters?
It has to be fast, it has to be undetected, so it's low observable, as I said. And just let's crack down the name, the Phoenix, because it's future effector, it's adaptable to the mission. So we have a couple of sensors that we can build in there, just to make sure whatever is the task, we find the right way. Then networking or networked, that means it's connected to the air combat cloud. All the information is going back and forth between the air combat cloud and these remote carriers. And if I say plural carriers, there will be it's not just like a cruise missile with one. There will be a whole swarm of these, and just being deployed. Intelligent, even if the air combat cloud falls apart, is jamming or whatever happens, the Phoenix or this type of remote carrier is able to continue the mission by itself, not just falling down. And expandable means, obviously, it's not a loyal wingman, it will not come back. Just to give you a rough number, it will fly half an hour, and in that half an hour, it has to do its job.
Why do you think technology like this will be increasingly important to fight the battles of tomorrow?
Because it's getting complex. There's also like a trend that they're putting a lot of mass and trying to overwhelm the enemy by just a ground-based air defense, just by drones, by missiles, rockets, whatever flies, throwing a lot of stuff at the enemy. And I think that these make a difference because, as I said, we try to keep a low price tag on it. So it makes it affordable, and you can actually also put a lot of these out there. And that will make the difference in the end. If 2 or 3 of these get through and make the job, then it will make the difference. That's at least the idea.
When we return, our financial expert is back with some smart money moves for the fall season. Don't go away. Welcome back. As the leaves begin to change and the holiday months approach, it's important to keep an eye on your budget. On this edition of Money Minute, Jeanette Mack from Navy Federal Credit Union is back with some advice for avoiding the autumn budget squeeze.
The end of summer brings cooler temps, pumpkin spice lattes, and the anticipation of the holidays. Are you ready? Those lattes and the holidays can be expensive. The best way to keep more of your money in your pocket and still enjoy the festive season is to be proactive and practical. In other words, plan well and save well. Take the time now to review and evaluate spending and cut unnecessary expenses. Negotiate better deals on services like internet or cable. These companies want to keep you as a customer and are usually willing to work with you to keep your business. And as a rule, you should be reviewing your subscriptions annually anyway. It's also helpful to plan any shopping you do. Use coupons and stick to your list, or better yet, have some no-spend weekends. Wherever you're able to save, reallocate those funds to a designated holiday spending account and keep it there. And don't put off maintenance on your house until winter when it becomes a bigger expense. Clean your gutters and furnace filters regularly. This keeps your bills lower too. It's the little things that add up to big rewards. So plan well, and savor the holidays.
To get more coverage of military and defense topics, jump out of that Osprey and glide on over to militarytimes.com and defensenews.com for more headlines. And to be the sharpest sailor on the flight deck, sign up for our early bird brief, compiled each morning bringing you the most recent headlines. And if social media is how you stay up to date, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and X. And we're on TikTok, so go follow us there as well. When we come back, the conclusion of our DSEI coverage in conjunction with our partners at Cheddar. Don't miss it.
The ultimate advantage in modern warfare may not come from the biggest gun or fastest plane, but instead the ability to process information faster than your opponent and make better decisions. The team at Palantir is reshaping military strategy through human-machine interfaces and artificial intelligence.
We allow our customers to build an ontology, a map of their business, an understanding of their world, and on top of that, we're then able to apply the latest advances in machine learning and AI technologies, not least agentic AI. So taking a set of highly powerful AI tools and giving them this map of the business, all of the data that the customers need to be able to make these decisions, and allowing then those agents to thoroughly embed and enable these customers of ours to make very high quality decisions, taking the work or the time that may previously have been weeks or months and turning that into minutes and seconds.
But before AI can make decisions, the underlying systems must be secure. Cybersecurity companies like Arkit are building the foundations that keep military networks safe from digital attack.
What defense is seeking and what the operators are seeking are rapid to market, rapid to deployment technologies, but they cannot be compromising the security or the safety or indeed the effectiveness of those technologies. So Arkit feels it has a very strong role to play in that. We are a very modular approach to how you might go about protecting the sort of digital battle space and the technologies that operators and warfighters are deploying in today's modern sort of conflict environment. Everybody needs to secure their data, and that would be as applicable in a modern threat landscape to banks, to telecoms companies, to other CNI, energy supplies. So these are just as critical to the national interest as indeed the sort of front of the tip of the spear warfighter capabilities are.
However, all of this advanced technology means nothing without properly trained operators. Babcock is revolutionizing how military personnel learn to use these complex systems in real-life situations.
BITE, which is the Babcock Immersive Training Experience. It's a system we've developed over the last couple of years to deliver realism to our frontline operators, whether that's airmen, sailors, or soldiers. We've also used it for emergency services. It's a super adaptable training solution. Today, which we're going to walk inside, we've got a urban command bunker training our soldiers to be able to operate in really disrupted, difficult and dislocated locations.
How important is customer feedback to the overall process?
Massively important. So some of the original light bulb moments for the development of this system came from customers saying, hey, these are my current training issues. And it's kind of fed to where we've gone. So this is a deployable solution, it's a modular and scalable solution. And then the key piece that we really honed in on was that ability to deliver immersive but repeatable training. So you've got a preset UAV flight path here. It's flying over hostile territory. What you're looking to do is identify key capabilities that are out there. For example, that might be a suspicious vehicle at the top. And then you're going to use our Babcock vehicle recognition tool or virtual recognition tool to corroborate and positively identify what it is. Okay, so T90, Russian main battle tank. You would then send up a sighting report. I've seen a T90 at NAI 1. My recommendation is to engage. And then you'd report that up to your commander. Really, really important tool on the modern battlefield to get that information up to the commander as quickly as possible so they can act on it.
The future of warfare will be decided not just by who has the most advanced systems, but by who can best integrate autonomous systems, process information faster, and train their people more effectively. From the autonomous vehicles of Milram to the AI-powered decision systems of Palantir to Diehl's remote carriers, we've seen how innovation is reshaping the battlefield.
Well, that's all we have time for in this episode. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.